Alright, so this was quite eventful. I had 11:03 Roblox. It wants to load. Yep, nice. Roblox, very nice 3-bar play on elevators for we don't. We basically have this little support and resistance below. Between that, quite a nice window, except for I'm not sure why I cannot zoom in. Why is this shit? Anyways, okay, so I'm gonna zoom in here. No, okay, so a little bit of a wick here between these two larger candles, but nothing else. That little wick made a nice bouncing today, but I don't know. I just not really relevant. 60 minute, very very nice. Like level, like a very slow descent, kind of like a downtrending channel, but very very slow. So I'm loving that bit of an uptrend up move before the open, and then right like one or two candles before the actual open just dump. So I'm loving that. Not the biggest fan of this little up thing, up move again. Fake breaking this, I don't know. I'd say I'm just cool with it, but it's not positive nor negative in my eyes that much. To be honest, what would have been nicer would have been like a bit of an up move, kind of like here, so like a clean lower high, and then a dump. Loving this lower high after that, easy entry. I don't know, I think I went to 1 hour here, and then we broke down, retested the level of EPS, still quite okay. And when it got to like here, I entered again and then it popped up, so I got a very good average there. Moved my stuff to here, first stop here, second here, still leaving those there. And I just went all out at this level. And I had a partial here because 5 minute was looking parabolic, but really no volume there or nothing to worry about on that daily. So I think totally negligible in the future and could just go all out here. And maybe all the stuff like this, I could just move my stop to here above the level. Then I hit open. Quite a nice pennant, I think it had the following day. 60 minute, quite alright, reverse ABCD. 5 minute, I'm loving the level. And there was another level below that, which was the actual breakdown level, but I thought that maybe I could get some momentum off of this. Quite a nice large volume, a bit of a minute extension, but quite okay. Not really loving the up move before the open or the 1 minute for 2 more extension. Not parabolic, but I'm just not really loving it. So that's that. Went in, I think, half an hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, but I think half an hour because of the article prediction. It had like 70%. Would have been better, but that's a complete new rule, so I'm fine with that. Yeah, and as soon as I saw that momentum wasn't carrying us through, I just bailed immediately for like 0.3 hours of loss. Then I had turn, which had some sort of, I'm not quite sure what. Oops, was I? Went in the wrong direction. Okay. So biotech stock using positive trial one data for his drug yesterday. Now giving up further second CC on the 60 minute chart. 5 minute, quite a nice flag right here. I'm loving it, although already moved quite a lot. So at this point, I'm not really expecting it to move a heck of a lot further. Basically, at yesterday's range, even though yesterday didn't move that much, we did have this little wick, that much from the open. We did have this nice wick, and then this little up move. So, anyways, wasn't expecting a big move to like 19 or above, maybe till high of day. So I waited for a very tight risk reward opportunity. I had UEP, I had 9MA as extra support in my direction. Very nice, clean, lowering, falling VP was nice as well. I went in. I'm not sure how many R's. I'm guessing definitely not more than one, maybe half, maybe one. I'm thinking health. Oh, but anyway, I was targeting this area and I said half of my position here, the other half about 2 cents higher. Not really sure why that's necessary. In these cases, I'd rather just go for the straight hit, maybe earlier partial. Volume didn't really come back in as we were rising up higher. In that case, maybe I would have held a bit longer, maybe up to like 19 or something. But this way, I think this level was just the optimal exit. Lights given in range over 200 whole dollars. It had quite good earnings, and yeah, anyways, daily quite nice range breakout, smaller range, then breakout over 200. 60 minute just then, A plus, ABC, the candle one. We got a pre-market a bit all over the place, pre-market, but that's quite okay. Now we are in an ascending triangle. We're breaking out of that. Very nice little type 1 minute that's held by 9. And what I didn't really like about it was, how can I zoom in? Was that 5 minute was just, it didn't have that much structure to it. They were just like a bit wiki candles, just getting somewhat tighter. Nothing crazy. Anyway, so 1.5 hour. Also didn't expect a whole lot of movement here. We were already quite large. And if you look back on the daily, we didn't really have many mover days in the past. So I was very risk averse on the setup. Half an hour and then took it off at like Hive Day. Didn't really get 2 to 1, I think. Just shy of it. Then I had a CVA. Not sure if I posted the news here. Seems like I didn't. Anyways, it had earnings. And I think it was quite bad. Anyways, we get down to all-time lows. The volume was monumental. It was very, very good. Or like 2K% in the open. So got it. Or slow, but a steady down grind here. Then a big, big fake break, retesting 9 and closing quite low. So already a huge fucking candle. Not sure what more I could be expecting from it, but I did expect more from it because of the RFO. And yeah, what I mean by not sure how more I could be expecting is not sure how much more it could give, but I thought that it could still give some more. So 15-minute orb, quite nice, or not orb, but a nice full candle there. But I cannot really see when it started pulling back. Pretty shitty downward trend line here. This try was risky. I tried 1 hour because I like the LTF, like the news, like the R4, like the 60. But the 1 minute was just very, very off. VP was also very off, right? So I pointed out. We'll see. So like lowering as we were grinding lower and then getting a bit higher on this little bounce, and then the white candles on the way up were just much higher than the red ones. So very off, and then a lower volume drop back down. Anyways, I maybe if I wanted to take it maybe half far, but I don't know, maybe not even that. Then we just waited a bit further for things to clear out, and then a high volume breakdown attempt. I think this is quite good for a try. How far 1 hour? I think both are fine, depending on how momentum is. Today, not really looking like a nice chart. I was thinking maybe half hour and then possibly add on a nicer lower high and a test. But didn't happen anyways. Wasted 2 hours on something that should have been a 1 hour haul. Is that a nicer upward trend line formed? BPA was nice as well. If you look on the 5 minute, these two guys are just formed by are just high because of these two. I'm not quite sure if these are misprints. I don't think they're misprints. I think they're just some sort of clearance, but they don't really move price. We're really in important places either. So I mean, except for this one, this was an important place. This wasn't. Anyways, but generally a nice downward trend in the volume area on this little retracement. Now we have VWAP here, we have the 20 EMA, and we have this little guy supporting us as well. So I set my stop a bit above this mini high and shorted a bit early because it was an SSR and I just wanted to get a good fill. I didn't want it to like dump. Although dumping on this stock is quite unlikely, I think, because of the way it moves behaves. That sort of thing. Anyways, so I entered here, hotkey error entered, and then I just let it ride down till this double bottom, which it ultimately did get to, but not the most directional stock, to be fair. So definitely a bit dicey. I risked 2R on this. Maybe I should have done 1R. VPA wasn't that nice, nor was the 1 minute. I think that could have been that would be a good correction on this trade. As you heard, W is earnings lower full year guidance, now ripping down hard. 200% Arval at time of entry, which is just the minimum threshold for me. 60-minute acceptable. Very nice range tightening. Favorite to the upside now. Going down 15-minute or be very, very nice. Bit of an iron retest, so combining dynamic hunt and the continuation and the breakdown strategy. Entered here didn't get a fill because of SSR, and I just deleted the order. Maybe could have waited a little bit, but that's quite alright. Now, seeing that the breakdown volume actually flopped, like we had one good volume and then just a slower downtrend, kind of like a belly setting volume here, then a double bottom, I probably would have cut it somewhere around here. But yeah, that's that. And we have PayPal biggest fumble of week where I gave back approximately profits. So I'm very much liking this level, liking the fade break here, then the lower high again. 60-minute headed 3-bar play here, not really visible. Quite nice 5-minute nice range downwards, although PA is not the most clean. So we're going into a 250% Arval in pre-market. I entered 2R for the breakdown. A bit risky, especially the 250% Arval on something like PayPal, which is a bit more spread stock. Maybe in hindsight would have been half an hour or 1 hour. Anyways, we've gotten snubbed out, and then 42nd minute entry, by which time I would have realized that only was 30%. Could have entered half an hour. Stop at high of 3 or maybe even here. Because we had a nice fix, so maybe above the bodies. And break down, and then we got a small continuation, still 70% audible, so not ending would have been the right move here. But by this time, I had been in 3 hours somewhat, or no, sorry, 4, because this was 2 hours, this was 1 hour, this was 1 hour as well, and I just got stopped out of both. So lost 3.6 hours, so technically 4 instead of the 1.5 that I should have. So yeah. Very nice daily. I think our competition had some good news as well. So very nice daily, very nice 60. Quite a nice level as well. Usually it was just like super shit for it as well as the RFL. So trade fundamentals kind of screwing me here. Then it was the ones that I didn't take fuel, so not really worth talking about. Just a breakdown, no real urgency to it, no high volume or anything. It just kind of happened. Why? So this is quite interesting. So it's have no like we bought very trash volume, to be fair, after this little period. And it's been getting a bit tighter on this initial peak high level, having a nice option line and having a breakdown. I think basically both at the same time. We had this nice bottom here, which I could have traded. It's set up like basically an A plus plus bouncy pool setup or descending triangle, whatever you want to call it. We were now below the 200 as well here, which I marked with this purple line, so that's quite nice as well. But yet again, volume was like 70, 80, 90%. I'm not quite sure, but that's like way too low for me, even for short. So I just skipped out on that. Also, by this time I had my max loss, but I don't think I would have traded anyway. That being said, it was an A plus plus volume, and I set up with a good daily on shit article. maybe I could try half an hour for these guys for a tiny scalp like with PB high breaks, which would have still given me, I think, like 2 to 1 or something like that, especially on the high volume breakdown. But yeah, that's that. SLH also a nice outro trend line, but been kind of sideways for a long time. Not quite sure how much downward momentum we could have. So this was also just a sim trade, and also had also the same day as the day that I got my full max loss. Volume was a bit nicer here, not outstanding, but not bad. So yeah, I don't know. Didn't hit target, but as I said, probably would have not traded because daily was too sideways. When it was not groundbreaking, setup was almost like 2 to 1, so not outstanding either. Then we had SMR. I think it had some sort of news. Yeah, quite bad earnings. And also an upper trend line breakdown. Very, very nice. We're kind of in clear sky here. By the time I showed it, 28. Yeah, we didn't have a level until 2660. Quite a nice retest. It extended on these time frames. To be fair, 5 minute was quite okay. Technically, it didn't reset, or I'm not sure if it reset or not. But I think the pullback was definitely enough at the moment. 16 a bit dicey, and I had to adjust my stop loss for a bit more momentum based. With after it, I reverse ABC with a 3 bar play here, I think it was quite appropriate. Maybe half far try here, trailing prior bar highs, but that's it. I didn't manage it because it was sim, because this was also the max loss day. So that was basically the week. Finally getting some green out of my efforts. Next week I really have to focus on just remaining on my course as just trying to find the clean stocks, clean moving, clean ARPL, like really just nailing down these and not really taking the low RR shit. So I'm just gonna have to make an active mental effort on this, and I'm gonna have to know when to size up, when to size down, and when uh, when to ease back on the throttle after pre-markets looking promising, but intraday is not. So yeah, that's the week.